Previous video we discussed about part 1 of this chapter, session number 2, working with data. Today we are going to start the next session, 2.3, working with formulas and functions. How we can enter formula or how we can enter function and how we can use them for different calculations in Calc. Now the first topic is how to enter a basic formula in Calc and calculate numbers. Okay, so we will open Calc first. So this is our Calc sheet and we are going to create a worksheet where we will feed some data so that we can work on the data. So we are going to create a simple, we can say, bill. Okay, suppose there is one ABC stores and we have the bill and then we have number here and then we have dated. So this is a basic bill that is given in the book that I am creating. Serial number 1, and if I will drag, then you will get the value 2 and 3. Suppose the first value is X and then Y and then Z, and we have the different prices. So price, here we have price 20, then we have 35, and then we have the price 15. Quantity 5, 2 and 4 and value 100, 70, 60, and then we have total here, this all. So ABC stores is going to be bold, and we have serial number also in the center. So here we have made it in the center. We will just click here, you can see horizontal, left, right, and then justified. So center, and again center, center. Here also all of these values are in center, so we'll just go for center values, and other values are as it is, and then we have the number. Okay, so now we are going to values we have to calculate now. So we will just delete this. We are going to calculate these values. Here you can see price multiplied with quantity will give you the value of this item X. So we will use the formula. Here we are discussing how we can enter a formula in Calc. So I will just put equal to sign, then I will give the cell address C6, and then I will use asterisk for multiplication, and then I will give the cell address D6. So C6 will be multiplied with D6, and then press enter, and then you will get the value. If you will place your mouse cursor here near the fill handle and double click, it will just take the whole value. Okay, so we can just either drag from using the fill handle, or we can double click also. Okay, so we got all the values 100, 70 and 60. So this way we entered a formula in Calc to calculate the numbers. You can see these two cell C6 and D6 got multiplied, and then we got the value in E6. Okay, cell E6. So this way we can do calculation in Cal C. If we want to go for addition, suppose we have the number 1 and we have the number 9, so I will just place equal to sign. Every formula must start with equal to sign. So I have given equal to sign and then I have given the numbers and then press enter. So plus operator is basically used for addition, minus is used for subtraction, asterisk is used for multiplication, and slash is used for division. But we need to put equal to sign. 6/3 will give me the value 2. So you can see here we have used the operator plus, then minus, and then asterisk for multiplication and slash for division. So this way we can put operators and we can perform calculation using formula in Cal C. Okay, now we are going for the next topic. 2.6.1a, cell referencing in worksheets. How can we reference cell in worksheet? We will see here that suppose in this formula what we have written equal to C6 into D6. Okay, so we have written cell address. Cell address is for us, but internally in computer what is actually happening when we wrote C6? So now computer is knowing that in comparison to this cell, with respect to this cell, with relative to this cell, where is C6? So C6 is here. So what it is actually doing, it is writing here equal to, and then C6 means 2 cell left, 2 cell left. So what it is actually learning is equal to multiply 2 cell left with D6. D6 is 1 cell left. So computer actually is doing what? It is multiplying, means it is actually thinking that I have to multiply what? 2 cells left. Cell means the value in 2 cells left with value in 1 cell left. This is called referencing. This is called referencing. So computer is actually thinking that it is what it has to do. It has to multiply 2 cells left, 2 cells left, that is C6 with 1 cell left, 1 cell left D6. So it is actually the referencing system that is used for multiplication or division or addition. So when we give references to computer in Cal C, then this is actually done internally. Externally we see C6 and D6 like this. Okay, so here we have C6 and D6, but computer is what actually doing? It is multiplying. It is thinking that I have to multiply the number C6, so it is actually 2 cell left with 1 cell left value. So when we copy the same formula, suppose I copied this formula from here to here, now computer is actually from here also same condition is there. What it has to do? It has to multiply 2 cell left, 2 cell left from this cell. Now from this cell, with reference to this cell, it has to multiply 2 cell left with 1 cell left. Here also it has to multiply 2 cell left with 1 cell left. So we are actually giving the addresses, but internally it is actually giving reference with respect to the cell where we have to give the answer. Suppose we have to give the answer in E6. So where is the cell with respect to E6? So cell is 2 cells left with respect to E6 and 1 cell left with respect to E6. So this way referencing works in Cal C or any spreadsheet software. Okay, so now next topic is, there are 3 cell referencing styles in a worksheet. You all have seen that the referencing which we give gets changed when we change the place, change the cell in which we are giving the address, where we are giving the cell reference. So when we change it, the data or the value or the cell reference also gets changed. Okay, whatever argument we write gets changed. So there are 3 types of referencing actually. One is relative referencing, cell referencing, in which cells are referred by their relative position in the worksheet. We have seen also relative position. For example, relative position is second cell from left, first cell from left. this is relative position. So when we go for relative position in the worksheet, then we call it relative referencing. No dollar sign is used in relative referencing. Means if you will copy this formula anywhere, then the whole formula will get changed. Here you can see it is C6 into D6, it will become C7 into D7, or C8 into D8, C9 into D9, C10 into D10. So if you will copy the formula, the formula will get changed in relative referencing. For example, you can see no dollar sign is used here before anything. A cell address consists of two things. One is column letter and second one is row number. So if we put dollar sign before anything, either column letter or row number, it will make it absolute. We have not used dollar sign before row number and before column letter. So it will be called relative referencing, and it will change. It will, if we will copy it will get changed. Next is absolute referencing. Cell referencing, in which the cells are referred by their fixed position, means they are not going to change if you will copy it. To create an absolute reference, you have to put a dollar sign before both the parts, column letter also and row number also. You can see here in the example, before column letter we have given dollar sign, so it has made this column letter absolute. It is not going to change if you will copy the formula. And here in row number also we have put one dollar sign before it, so it is also not going to change. So here this is absolute. A1 will remain A1, but here B1 will change to any other if you will copy the formula. So let us see how it actually works. Here we have given the formula C6 into D6. So I am giving dollar sign before C also and before 6 also. So means I am making column letter also absolute and row number also absolute, and then I will press enter. Okay. Now if I will copy this formula, then what will happen actually? You can see what is absolute will remain absolute. It is not going to change. So C6 will remain C6. Here also you can see it is C6. Here also it is C6. But you can see it was D6 here. It got changed to D7 and then D8. So D8, this one is actually what we have given as relative reference. It will change. But because we have put dollar sign before column letter and row number, it is not going to change. So this way we can create absolute referencing. So for absolute referencing, you have to put two dollar sign, one before column letter and one before row number. Next is mixed referencing. Combination of relative and absolute referencing is called mixed referencing. Means if we make absolute only one part, either we make absolute only the column letter or we make absolute only the row number, then it will be called mixed referencing. To create mixed referencing, we have to put dollar sign before only one part. Either we will put dollar sign before column letter or we will put dollar sign before row number. Okay. For example, this one. Here you can see A is column letter, it is having dollar sign before it. So A is made absolute. A is absolute here, but 1 is not absolute. Row number is not absolute, it is relative. Here you can see A is relative, A will change, but we have put dollar sign before row number, that is why it will not change, it will remain absolute. Okay. Next we are going to study is order of calculation. Order of calculation in Calc. So what is the order of calculation in Calc? Let us write something for calculation. Suppose I am writing here equal to 3 plus 4 multiplied with 9 divided by 3 and then minus 1. Okay. So we have two types of calculation method. One is called left to right. One is called left to right and one is based on order. In mathematics, the order is called BODMAS. Bracket and then off and then divide and then multiply, then add and then subtract. But here we have a different order of precedence, order of importance. Okay, here we have a different one. First of all, let's see if we will go for left to right option, then what will happen. 3 plus 4 will become 7. 7 multiplied with 9 will give us the value 63. Okay, divided by 3 will become 21. Minus 1 will give us the value 20. So it should give us the value 20, but instead of 20 we will get a different value. Let us see this. We have got the value 14. Okay, so what happened actually here? You can see it was 3 plus 4 into 9 by 3 minus 1. Okay, so instead of giving the value as what we thought, it has changed the value. So what happened actually? It depends on the order of calculation or order of operator precedence. Most important is parenthesis or bracket. Bracket is most important one. If you will give bracket, then the first thing that is going to work will be bracket. Whatever inside bracket will start first. Then we have division and multiplication will be done. Then it will do addition, and then it will do addition and subtraction. So division and multiplication have same precedence, same importance, and addition and subtraction have same importance. Now we have one problem. If we have both division and multiplication, then what will happen? Operators that are equal in precedence, means division and multiplication equal in precedence and addition and subtraction equal in precedence, they are performed left to right. So let us see this. First we have parenthesis, then we have slash and multiplication, then plus and minus. If we have both at the same time, it will be worked left to right. Let us see this. Here you can see plus, asterisk, slash and minus. Okay, so first of all we will see, you can see the answer was 14. Okay, so answer was 14. Let us see this. We can see first is multiplication and division. Okay, so if multiplication and division both are given, then first one will be left one. So left one is 4 into 9. Left one is 4 into 9. 9 into 4, 36. Okay, so we have done multiplication left to right. Then we have slash. Slash is also important. 36 by 3, it becomes 36 by 3, it becomes 36 one times and then 12, it will become 12. So 3 plus 12 minus 1, 3 plus 12 minus 1, it will become 3 plus 12 minus 1. So here we have written 3 plus 12 minus 1. Now we have this condition. Now you can see we have plus and minus, both are of equal importance or equal precedence. So which one will work first? Left to right. So 3 plus 12 will become 15. Then we have the answer 15, and then we have the answer minus 1. 15 minus 1, 14. And that is why we got the value 14. So in OpenOffice Calc, we have the calculation methodology based on this condition. First parenthesis, then division and multiplication, then addition and subtraction. And if we have operators of equal precedence, then it will perform left to right. So if you want to go for a good calculation, then you always need to go for bracket. Suppose I want to do this one first. Okay, 3 minus 1. So I will just put bracket here. Okay, so what will happen? This will be performed first. So if you want to go for the basic mathematical methods, then you have to put brackets. That is the only method to avoid order of precedence. Okay, so you have to put bracket. Bracket will be worked first. Next we have functions. Functions are predefined formulas that perform calculation by using specific values called arguments. Functions like sum, average, count, minimum, maximum. We have so many functions. Functions are what? Predefined formulas. They are predefined in Calc. Means sum is a predefined word, count is a predefined word, average is a predefined word. So they are predefined in Calc and they perform calculation. They perform calculations. Sum for addition, average for giving the average, min for giving the minimum value, and max for giving the maximum value. They use specific values, either number, cell address, range of cell, whatever you give, and all of these are called arguments. So whatever you put inside these two brackets after the name of the function is called argument. Okay. Now a Calc function can take up to 30 numbers as argument. Means you can put 30 numbers. First number, second number, third number, like this. You can give 30 numbers. You can give in total 30 numbers, not more than that you can give. Next thing is components of function, means part of function. What are the two parts of two things in function? First one is argument. Argument are the values passed to function, means values given to function. This is the function, this is the function, and arguments are values which are given for the function to work. So these are values given to the function, means passed to the function. Using these values, the function will carry out some task. Suppose the function is sum, so it will do the task summation. So it will do summation on what? Arguments. So arguments are the values which are passed to the functions to do something. Arguments can be anything. It can be number, it can be text value, it can be logical values like true, false, it can be range of cell also, means multiple cells combined together. It can be cell reference also, A1, A2, D1, D2. It can be error value also. Error value can also be there in argument. It can be formula also. Inside one function we can include formula also. Inside here also I can write one formula. And it can include other function also. Means I can give two function also. Function will be inside this function. Here we have some function, and in sum, if I will again give one more function here, I can give it. Next thing is structure of function. Structure of function is the whole syntax of the function. The structure of a function begins with the function name, name of the function, sum, average, max, min. These are the names of the function. After the name of the function, we have opening parenthesis, means opening bracket. Then argument for the function, whatever argument we want to give. Suppose argument 1, 2, like this. We can go till 30 arguments we can give as number. Then we have, now for separating them we have semicolon, and after our arguments are complete we will give closing parenthesis, means we will close the brackets. If a function starts a formula, then we will go for equal to sign. Means if the function is starting a formula, then we will go for equal to sign before the function name. Here whatever function we are going to study will have equal to sign before the function name. Next function, some of the functions which we are going to study is 2.6.1b, some useful functions. Our first function is sum. This function adds all the numbers in a range. Whatever number you will give, it will give you the addition, means summation of the numbers. Argument will be number, you will give number. So we know that basically we can do calculation on numbers, and in return it is also going to give us number. We can do calculation on numbers, that is why the argument will be number only. If you will give cell reference, then also reference should be having number in them. It will return you number after addition. Now the first thing is sum will ignore any text or empty cell within a range or array. If you will give any text or if the cell is empty, sum will ignore it. For example, suppose we are having the number 36, then we have 56, and then we have a text. Okay, and I am going to write equal to sum and then these three, and then press enter. You can see I got the summation 6 plus 6 12, 5 plus 3 8, 1 9, 92. So what happened actually, sum ignored the text value, its value was ignored, or empty cell also. If the cell is empty, then also sum will ignore it. If the cell is empty, then also sum will ignore it. Okay. Next thing is, it does not ignore boolean or logical values. Boolean or logical values are true or false. True is considered as 1 and false is considered as 0. Okay. So if I will write here true, it should become 93. You can see it became 93. So true is seen as 1 and false is seen as 0. So false is 0. So it uses boolean values. Boolean value true means 1 and boolean value false means 0. So true is considered as 1 and false as 0. Next function is average. This function returns the average of the arguments, means arithmetic mean of the arguments. Let us see this. Suppose we have some number 3 and then we have 6 and then we have 3 again, and here I am going to use average, an average of these 3. Average of these 3. Okay, so what it is written here, this function returns the average. What will happen, it will add these 3 numbers 6 plus 3 plus 9 12 and divide it with numbers in them. So number of cells are there, 1 cell, 2 cell, 3 cells. So 12 will be divided by 3, it will give me the answer 4. That is actually the arithmetic mean, means average, numbers divided by number of entries, okay, of the argument. Because we are going to get average, so that is why we go for number. We go for number, and in return we are also going to get number. So press enter and you will get the value 4. Okay, so you will give argument as number and return type you will also get number. Now here text is also ignored. Here also text was ignored. Here also text is ignored, or empty cells are also ignored. Empty cells are not counted. Text is also ignored. Suppose if I will write the value here t, e, x, t or any other value whatever as a text. See, I got the value 4.5. So what actually happened, there were 3 values, 6 plus 3 plus this one, but it was ignored. So 6 plus 3 9 and 9 divided by 2, not 3, because this is ignored. So 9 divided by 2 becomes 4.5. Okay, so text is ignored. Empty cells are also ignored. If this cell becomes empty, then also it will be ignored. You can see it has ignored this value. Okay. Next is value 0 is included, because 0 is the value. It is used in calculation. So if we will write 0, 6 plus 3 means 9. Now 9 will be added by 3, not 2. You can get the value 3. So 6 plus 3 9 divided by 3 values are here na, so we will divide it with 3, will give me the value 3. it does not ignore Boolean or logical values. Here also it does not ignore Boolean or logical values. Here also it does not ignore Boolean or logical values. True is considered as 1 and false as 0. Let us see this. This value was 0. So if I will write false, it should give me the same answer as 3. Same answer as 3. But if I will write true, it should be seen as 1. So 6 plus 3 plus 1, 10 divided by 3 will become 3.33. So true is also taken as 1 and false as 0. Next is count. Count is used to count the numbers in the cell. Suppose we have 5 cells, so how many cells are having numbers? This function counts the number of cells that contain number. So how many cells contain number? Suppose here we have 4 cells. I have to check how many cells contain numbers. I will write equal to count and then I will select the range. So how many cells are there which contain number? Okay, so the answer will be, okay, first of all delete this, put only number here, okay, and one text, then you will see. So here you can see I have used the value count and then I have given the range. So it will count the numbers which are in the cell. Suppose 36 is a number, 56 is a number, 2 is a number. It will give me the answer 3. Okay. So what it does actually, this function counts the number of cells that contain number. So there were 3 cells which contain numbers, but one more thing is counted. Number within the list of argument. If you will give number in argument also, that will also be counted. For example, here in this range we have only 3 numbers, but if here I will write one number, suppose 9, so that will also be counted. So here we have 3 numbers and then one more number 9. It will give me the answer 10. It will give me the we have 3 numbers here and one more number we have given in argument also. So 3 and one more number we have given, answer will be 4. So it not only counts the numbers in the cells, it also counts numbers in argument also. So if we have number in argument, that will also be seen as 1. So it will give me the value 4. Here also we can give argument of any type. You can give text also, you can give numbers also, whatever you want. In return you will get only count 5, 6, 10, 20, only number. Arguments that are number, dates and logical values are counted. That is why in the previous one what happened, it was logical value, it was counted. So if I will write logical value, it will get counted. It will get counted. So here we had 1, 2, 3 and one more number was also here. This was also here. And one more I have written false. False is also counted. That's why it gave me the answer 5. So logical values are counted. Numbers are obviously counted. Dates are also counted because dates are seen as number. Dates are by default seen as number. That is why they are also counted. You can see here dates are also counted. We have again got the value as 5 because date is also counted as number. Date is also counted as number. Text entries and empty cells are ignored. If you have written text entry, it will get ignored. Suppose we have text here, it will get ignored. You can see here 1, 2, 3, and if you delete this number from here, then you can see only 3 are there. So 1, 2, 3, text is ignored. One more thing which is ignored, empty cells. Empty cells are having nothing, so they are ignored. You can see here again we have 3. Next we have count A. Sometimes it happens that we have to count everything, whatever data is there in the cells. So for that we go for count A. It counts everything, number of entries, how many entries are there, whatever is written, suppose boolean value, text, formula, whatever is written, it will count it. So how many entries are there, if you want to check, then you will go for count A. So how many entries are there? So let's see this. Count A, how many entries are there? One, two, three, four, five, six. 6 entries are there. If you want to check entries, then you will go for count A. Any type of values you can give as argument. You can see we have given text, we have given boolean values, we have given number, anything you can give. In return you will get number. Empty cells are only ignored. Nothing is ignored except empty cells. If you have empty cells, it will get ignored. If the cell is empty, no value is there, it will not count it. So you will get the answer as 5. Next is max. Max gives maximum value. This function returns the largest value in a set of values. Suppose we have multiple values like 56, 69, 32, 58. So if you will go for max, it will give me the maximum value. Which one is the maximum value? Largest value in a set of values. Argument, all numbers can be given. In return, it will give me the maximum, means the largest number. It considers only numeric and logical entries, others are ignored. So only numbers are counted and logical entries, means false or true. Suppose here if I will write false and then I will write 1. Okay, so obviously 1 is the largest one, equal to max, and then these two. So equal to max, then these two, and then press enter, you will get 1 as the answer. So 1 is actually true, that is why it has given us the value true. So we will get the value as the largest one. False is 0. So it considers only numeric values and logical entries. Logical entries are also counted. For example, if I will write here 2, 0, if I will write here 0 and here I will write true, then if I will go for max, I will go for max these two, then I will get the value 1, because 0 is 0, true is 1, so maximum value 1. So it considers only numeric entries and logical entries, means true false, others are ignored. If the argument contains no number, it will give us the result as 0. See, suppose it does not contains numbers, suppose here it does not contains number, so if I have written equal to max, maximum of the values, so nothing is there, so it will give us the value 0. So if the argument contains no numbers, maximum will return 0. Now in this condition, text was not taken, text was ignored, formula was ignored. So if you want to include text also, so you will go for max A. Max A will do as max, but it will include text also, returns the maximum of a list of arguments. It will include text also. Logical entries are by default here also, so they are here also. But max will include one more thing, that is text. Text is seen as 0. Text is seen as 0. Okay, so if you will give true, sorry, yes, give true, then text is 0, so equal to max of these two, so we will get true, means 1, because text is seen as 0, text is seen as 0. So text is evaluated as 0. logical values are seen as 1 true and 0 false. So true is seen as 1 and false is seen as 0. Now minimum or min, this function returns the largest value, max. Now min, this function returns the smallest value. Same condition, all numbers are given, it returns only the number. Same condition, it considers only numeric entries and logical entries, others are ignored. And same condition, if the arguments contain no number, min will return 0. Min will return 0. So if you will go for min also and nothing is there, so it will give you the value as 0. Okay, so same thing, numeric entries and logical entries are taken, others are ignored, text is ignored. Now if you want to include text also, you will go for min a. Like we went for max a, we went for min a also. It is similar to max a except it computes the minimum value in place of the maximum value. But min a will include text also. Next we have if. It returns one of the two values. Whatever value is given by us, it will return any one of them, but based on condition. This is the first value given by us, this is the second value given by us. So it returns one of two values. Two values are given here, it will return any one value depending upon test condition. If the condition is true, then value number 1. If the condition is false, then value number 2. So how do we write this? We will first write if, then we will give bracket, then we will write test, then semicolon, then value 1. Value 1 is for true. If test gives the boolean value true, means it is true, yes, then value 1 will get executed, otherwise value 2. Test refers to logical value, means true or false. And how we will get logical value, true or false? The test will determine. If the test is giving correct result, then we will get true, otherwise false. So test refers to a logical value or expression that returns logical value, true or false. Value 1 is the value that is returned by the function if its test yields true, and value 2 is the value that is returned by the function if test yields false. Let us see one thing. Okay, I am writing here equal to if, then bracket, then test, one condition. Suppose I am writing if A25 is greater than 300, okay, then semicolon, then value number 1. Value number 1 will work when the condition is true, when A25, the cell reference, is greater than 300. Then value number 1, suppose I am writing here in bracket greater than 300. Now 1 for false. If it is false, then less than 300 and then bracket closed. Okay, this is A25, press enter. Okay, okay, now A25, I am giving one value in A25, it was, now it is 600. If A25 greater than 300, let us change the formula, there is some problem. Okay, now it is working. Yes, now A25 is having the value 600. What was the condition? If A25 is greater than 300, then you have to print greater than 300. You can see A25 is greater than, it is having value greater than 300, that is why it is printing greater than 300. If I change the value and make it 200, it will print less than 300, but whatever I have given. Here you can see the condition is given if the condition is true, if we will write 600 here, condition becomes true. For true, for condition becoming true, first one, value number 1 is executed, means greater than 300, and if it is less than 300, then value number 2. So this is our condition or test. If the test is true, then value number 1 is executed. If the test is false, then value number 2 is executed. Okay. So test if we have seen this. Now if value 2 is omitted, if you do not give value 2, so it will by default take it as false. If you will leave value 2, suppose if you do not give value 2, suppose I have deleted value 2, okay, the computer will automatically take the value as false. False will be automatically taken. Value number 2 I have not given, it was giving false, so here it should come value number 2. Value number 2 is not available, so answer is false. Value 2 automatically will get false if you ignore the value number 2. Okay, likewise if you ignore value number 1, then it will take value as true. Suppose if you will give here 600, it will give you true. So if value 2 is omitted, it is assumed to be false, means value 2 will automatically get the value false, and if value 1 is also omitted, it will assume the value to be true. Our next topic is 2.7, find and replace operations. How we can find any text in openoffice.org Calc. The first topic is how to find text or formula in Calc. So for finding text or formula, we have the option click on edit, then click on find and replace, this one. Okay, click here, it will give you the option to search for. Suppose I want to search for the number 3. Okay, so you will click on edit, then find and replace, and then search for. Now if you want to navigate from one result to the next, you will go for find. One result, then next result, then next result, like this. If you want to go for multiple results, okay, you will go for, suppose here also wherever you want to go, then in that case you will go for find. If you want to highlight all the matching cells at the same time, you will go for find all. You can see all the matching cells got highlighted. So this is the way to find text or formula in Calc. The shortcut is Ctrl+F. So instead of going for edit and then find and replace, we can just use the shortcut Ctrl+F. F refers to find. So instead of going for edit and then find and replace, we can just use Ctrl+F. Now next thing is how to replace any text with another in Calc, any text or any number also in Calc. Suppose I have this number 3 and I want to replace it with the number 6. So I will just click on find, and then suppose I found this, and then I can replace it with the value 6. So replace like this, replace, every value will get replaced. Or if you want to replace all the values at the same time, just click on replace, all the values will get replaced. Next is how to search in values, formula or notes or comment. Okay, so suppose you want to search for values only, so click on edit and then find and replace, and then here in more options you can see search in. If you want to search only in formulas, you will go for formulas. If you want to search in values, you will go for values. If you want to search for notes only, you will go for notes. Okay, notes are comments. Suppose if I add comment here, then suppose Arpit I have written, this is my comment. Here I have given one comment, this one is having comment Arpit. So wherever you want to search, suppose I want to search in notes or comment, So we have the value Arpit here, so I will just want to search Arpit and then I will click on find all if I am able to find. You can see Arpit was written here, it is showing Arpit. So here I am searching in notes or comments. If you don't want to search for notes, you want to search in values, you will go for values, search in values, then find all, search key not found because we are searching in values and it is actually given in comment or notes, so not found. Again, if you want to search in formulas, so again find all and you will get nothing. If you change the value, suppose we have the formula here a1 plus b1, and if I want to search this a1 in formulas, so it will give me the answer here. Here we have the formula a1, so it searched. If you want to go for a specific search like searching only formula, searching only values or searching only notes, we will go for search in. Okay, now next thing, how to search row wise or column wise. You can see here we have so many data. Suppose I put this value 10 here, and here also we have the value 10, and here also we have the value 10. Okay, so now we have the option to go for searching row wise or column wise. Suppose I want to search 10 and I want to go for row wise. So first click on find, because we are searching in notes, that is why it is not able to find it. So we'll go for value, then find. Okay, and then you can see first we have 10 here, so we are going for row wise. First this row, then next row which is having 10 will come, fine. Then you can see this row was having 10, then next this row is having 10, then this row is having 10, so this will come, then again this row is having 10. So if you want to go to search row wise, then we will click on row. If you want to go to search column wise, we will click on column, then find. Then you can see this column, then find this column, then we have 10 in next column. Here we have next column, then we have 10 in next column here. So it will search column wise. Next is how to search a particular text in all the worksheet at the same time. Basically, when we were searching, we were actually searching in a single sheet, 10 only in this sheet. Suppose we have 10 in this sheet also. Suppose if we have 10 in this sheet also, and I want to search all the sheets at the same time, so I will go to edit and then find and replace, and then here I will go for search in all sheets. I want to search 10 in all the sheets, so I will go for find. Then here also we have, right now I am in sheet number 1, then again sheet number 2 is having the value 10, then again sheet number 3 is having the value 10. So this way I can search all the sheets at the same time, means the whole workbook.